Hi, I'm Myra Castaneda, Program Director for Educational Support. Today I'm going to talk to you about successful virtual parent-teacher conferences. The first thing we're going to talk about is scheduling. Make sure that you keep appropriate records and schedule your time wisely. As we know, teachers have your plates full, so that it's very important to make sure you have time allotted for each parent so that they feel that what you have to say is important and you don't feel rushed. Make sure that with your schedule you add appropriate time with each parent so that you can give yourself a little bit of time to write your notes and create your follow-up or add to your new schedule for the follow-up parent conference. There are some very useful scheduling tools that are available for you to use if you need assistance with planning for your parent-teacher conferences. There's one called Sign Up Genius, Calendly, and you can also use Google Docs. It's just very important to keep organized so that you don't overload yourself with too many conferences on a day. You need to be realistic with how much you can do and make sure to respect your time as well. We do respect others' time, but we need to take care of ourselves as well. Preparation. As we all know, preparation is key to making sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. We need to include technology instructions for our parents. Sometimes our parents are a little more technology challenged than most of us in education. So as a courtesy, we would like to help our parents by including some technology instructions for them. It can be on a piece of paper that you can use with every single conference you schedule, or one thing that I'm really loving this year is Loom. We'll provide the website at the end of the presentation in the notes. The Loom is video instructions that you can use to send to your parents so that they have a visual. As many people are visual learners, such as myself, this provides a really great tool for parents to understand how to use the technology for the video conference. Another useful tool that I've provided is the Parent-Teacher Conference Preparation Sheet. This is something that could be very useful to keep you on track when talking about the student, their progress, your concerns, and the positive things about the student. Sometimes we can get off track, and it's always good to have something to keep you organized and make sure that you cover all of the important objectives that you really wanted to talk about. Make sure that you always give parents a heads up. With those phone calls that you make, you're going to always talk about why are you holding the meeting? What are your concerns? What are the objectives of the meeting? What do you want to see happen? Why does this matter? Sometimes we don't have a connection with our students, and it's so important to build relationships with our kids, as we all know, and it's a lot harder through a video platform. So making sure that we can find ways to make those connections through our conferences and speaking to the parents sometimes is the way to do that. Lastly, make sure that you are aware what language the parent speaks. Before the meeting occurs, sometimes they don't speak English or they don't speak Spanish, and we have to make those preparations. We do have some parents that are mute and deaf and have to have a sign language interpreter, so that would be a good time for you to make preparations on having somebody to help translate the meeting for you. Because we don't want to just include the parents that we can communicate with. We want to include all of the parents of our students because of course they all matter. I want to leave you with some helpful tips to consider. I have provided another activity that is student created. The students will provide what they want their parents to know, what they want their families to know, and that is also located in the notes section at the bottom of the presentation. This will help break the ice with the parent and give them an opportunity to hear from their child. Another thing that's so important is letting the parents talk. We are so used to just going into a conference and telling the parent everything that we have on our mind, and we sometimes fail to listen to what other people have to say. This is a great opportunity to let the parents talk and pay very close attention to what they have to say with their concerns. And sometimes this will give us another opportunity to come in and add additional interventions for the children. Sometimes they need a counselor. Sometimes they need a referral to a therapist or any of those things. So this is an opportunity to let the parents talk and really listen. We don't always have to be the ones talking, and sometimes we learn a little bit more when we hear others speak. Plan for a follow-up. During your meeting, schedule another follow-up meeting, especially if it's something that's very important as far as a student failing or they've lost focus. Schedule a follow-up and put it on your scheduling tool that you've used or one of the ones that I've shared with you today. Provide an agenda with time to address questions. So make sure that you don't overload your agenda with too many things. Stick to just a couple of topics because parents just like us and the students will lose interest. So make sure you just focus on what's important on the agenda. If things get a little heated, which sometimes they do, politely end the meeting. Do not let it get to you to where it angers you and you want to fight back. Politely end the meeting and say, thank you so much for your time. At this time, we're going to end the meeting and we can reschedule and we will make sure to have an administrator present. By then, they'll probably hang up on you or log off, but that's okay. At least you have done your best to end the meeting in a polite, respectful way. And then let your administrator know, as always, let your administrator know when you have those difficult conversations. One last thing to remember is with the Zoom platform, Google Meets, there are ways that we can record meetings with the parent. If you're going to record a meeting with the parent, please make sure you let them know that the meeting is being recorded so that you can share the link with them at a later time and they can go over the items that you discussed in the meeting, as well as to protect you and remind you of the items that you spoke about with that parent. It's very important to have documentation, and I think this is another key piece of having that documentation. I hope you have found this information helpful, and I want to thank you for your time. My name is Myra Castaneda, and I've included my email and phone number if you need to discuss any difficult situations or have any questions regarding this presentation.